least. Now all we need to do is worry about full-scale Imperial invasion. Aren't you glad at least tasked us with visiting Lord Hien? Better to be dashing from place to place than sitting down stewing over things we can't change. To the Enclave. You are small. To the Enclave, John. No, to the Enclave, John. Greetings, my friend. I was just discussing future endeavors. You fired somebody with the members of our newly formed alliance. The Kojin and the Confederacy you already know. Use your own strength for the arms that won us the cooperation of the Steppe tribes. We've also joined our neighbours at Nagshir, the indomitable citizens of Damascus, though the scattered nature of the latter's resistance will somewhat delay the official induction. Our peoples are united under a single purpose to stand against the tyranny of the Garlean Empire. I'm glad to see your alliance come together so swiftly. As things stand, I fear we shall soon have need of your strength. I thank you for bringing me news of Alphino. His fate was never far from my thoughts. Not only because he was our emissary, as of the sudden deployment of Imperial forces, I agree that Alamico would be wise to shore up its borders with all haste. Every report we receive from our shinobi indicates a massing of troops in the western provinces. It seems all but certain that the Empire is poised to bring its fist down upon Eorzea. I would yet deflect that blow. I cannot risk sending reinforcements just yet. We will remain vulnerable to the airborne assault until our wall in Bern is in place. The all-important Allagan energy barrier. It's so convenient they've only got one route to us. But, energy barrier, yes. I thought to call it something more auspicious. A name drawn from the four lords of legends, but Seriu's Aegis or some such. Just a thought. I've not fought Seriu yet. I've got the snake person. The Ironworks engineers report that they have finished calibrating generators and already proceeding to the next stage. You have time to attend the first test. We've seen the field which protected Alislar firsthand. Would be interested to hear how you think ours compares. Come to if you don't mind, though I'm no Ishtola, may be able to offer some insight. Of course, time being of the essence, it would be best if we made directly to the burn. Ugiri, leave you in Hakuro to bring the War Council to a close. Soldier mounts settled and ready, my lord. Where are the storms? Across the burn by Yol and Falcon. As before, join me at the overlook near the House of the Fierce. birds. Give the word when you're ready to take wing. Head to the burn.
It seems the engineers have matters well in hand. Should the barrier work as we intend, Doma will be free to reinforce her allies in Alamigo without fear of weakening her own borders. Honored friends, the time has come to put your hard work to the test. Start the generator.
Node 1 is operational. Nodes 2 to 8 are reporting similar energy levels. The barrier is forming.
If we timed it right, we could have cut ships in half.
1,000 yards. 2,000. 3,000. Expansion remains smooth. No fluctuations detected. Target altitude reached. The barrier is holding steady at 5,000 yards. We've done it.
Let's build a ladder.
Is that an Imperial airship? Of all the rotten timing.
But this is a gift, Mistress Alize. They can test our new wall for us. Seems solid enough, though I was hoping for a fireball.
Let's hope we got a friend inside. Like Alphino. Well, that guy. What is Alphino? Haha!
By the gods, it's Alphino.
You almost exploded Alphino.
What are you? Let me go! He has my brother!
Lower the barrier!
Be at ease, girl. The lad is not dead, merely locked in slumber.
No, not him too.
We could identify no cause and found no remedy. Thus I sought to return him to Doma, and into the arms of Lord Hien himself, it would seem. It is a day for fated reunions. Would you not agree, adventurer? Or should I address you as the Warrior of Light?
Confused bunny. Black Wolf. There we go. I'm really glad they told me really quickly. I probably would have figured out when they showed a close-up his gold gunblade, but I can't claim that because I accidentally... So, basically, I read the chat because I kept talking about the Black Wolf when he came on the screen as well, funnily enough. And then, like, I was reading the speculation, and they were like, yeah, somebody's like, that's obviously Gaius. And I was like, what does Gaius look like? How did he die? And then it just showed that fucker's head. And I was like, well, now I know it's Gaius. Anyway, I still think that's a really cool use of him. How is he not dead?
Aye. Gaius van Baelsar, the Black Wolf. That was the title I was given. One I have long since relinquished. Stand down. The legatus of the 14th Imperial Legion died in Castrum Meridianum. I am no more than Gaius Baelsar, a man without rank or allegiance.
Impossible. There's no way you could have survived.
Do you remember how it unfolded? How I was deceived by La Habrea? How I was convinced that reviving the Ultima weapon would allow me to bring peace to Eorzea?
I mean, that was stupid anyway, but yeah.
The Ascian used me, as he used so many others, all to further the restoration of his wretched god. Yet even with the might of Alec at my command, you bested me. And as the Praetorium went up in flames, I was content to burn along with it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
For a moment at least.
Yeah, he was in the flames.
A moment of folly. To surrender my life thus would have been to betray all who died for my cause. It was for them that I dragged myself free of the rubble, and swore vengeance on the Ascians. The Black Wolf has shed his pelt, never to return to Garlemald or her legions. I live now only to exact revenge.
I like that he has spares that he can throw on the ground for effect.
My principal quarry was to be La Habrea, whom I gather you have since ushered unto oblivion.
Yes.
But so many more remain. Long as their kind lurked in the shadows, laboring to sow chaos.
But you're just sending them back to the shadows, right?
I would see each and every one dragged into the light and put to the sword. Are the Scions not of like mind?
In this single respect, perhaps.
Then I shall continue the partnership the boy began, and share what intelligence I have acquired. Among the Ascians, the Black-masked ilk are subordinate to those who wear red.
Okay.
This you already know.
Yeah.
Yet among the red there exists a hierarchy. Those set adrift with the shards clearly stand below those still joined to the source.
What?
Nabriales, who once dared to intrude upon the Rising Stones, belonged to the former group, and while he was indeed a dangerous foe, his powers were inconsequential next to the paragons of the source. The first was La Habrea, who plagues us no more. There is also the white-robed Elidibus, and the elusive Emmett Selk, about whom little is known.
We have files on La Habrea and Elidibus, but I believe this Emmett Selk is new to us? As I assume my brother told you, we have evidence to suggest that an Ascian now walks in the body of the Crown Prince. Have you identified this interloper?
Elidibus seems the most likely culprit. As emissary, it is his role to maintain the equilibrium between darkness and light.
Well, that's what he's the one that wears the white robe.
Your many deeds in Hydaelyn's name have upset the balance, and I believe he seeks to restore it by throwing his considerable power behind the Empire. As a leader of the Ascians, he is one of our primary targets. It was on the trail of this very prey that the boy and I came across the scene of a failed uprising. In the absence of a single Garlean casualty, we inspected the bodies of the rebels, and the lack of any external injury drew my immediate attention. They had been slain by Black Rose, an alchemical invention of the Imperial Army. When I yet served as legatus, I ordered its production halted, and all stockpiles
I
destroyed.
wonder how much of this is planned,
Toxic
because
gas is not a tool of conquest, but of extermination.
I do believe he generally didn't, he avoided
Toxic
war crimes.
gas. This must be the new weapon Maxima warned us about. Something deadly enough to sweep away all resistance in a matter of hours. Gods. You don't think they're planning to use this in Alamigo, do you?
Put your fears to rest. We infiltrated the production facility and destroyed all existing stores of the chemical along with the plant itself. Even should they rebuild the operation, they will not soon manufacture another batch.
I think Black Rose is like from the original game. Because there was a different villain
Regardless,
before.
I would draw your attention to a directive we discovered in the plant's records. The document was marked with a recent date and authorized with the signature of one Zeno Galvas.
A dead man signing the death warrant for thousands. 'Tis bad comedy.
But the tale does not end there. Within that same facility was a chamber filled with devices of elegant design. Cloning technology, we realized. And what should we find in each and every incubator? But a young Emperor Solus. All of which prompts the question, were the Ascians responsible for these abominations, or was it the will of the Emperor? I must know which hand guides the Empire. Though I have given up my rank, I am yet a son of Garlemald, and I will fight for the future of my homeland.
I think he and Nero's going to have a conversation at some point.
It is time I return to the hunting of shadows. We should focus on our common foe. To reopen old quarrels now would serve no purpose.
You saved my brother's life, so I'm willing to let sleeping dogs lie. But in truth, it's not my decision to make.
I mean, I want the fight. There are more important matters at hand.
There was a time when I scorned those who placed their faith in false gods, even as I, in my blinkered conviction, place mine in Ascian promises. Unlike yours, my strength of will and my restraint was found wanting. We shall meet again, warrior of light.
So that was the infamous Black Wolf. An unexpected ally, to say the least.
Yeah, his voice is different, though.
Well, I am content to leave the fine-tuning of the barrier to cleverer minds. Let us bid our friends from the Ironworks farewell, and see what can be done for Alphino back in Dorma.
It's a bit weird that Alphino had a side quest that we never got to see. Like, never got... What? We did not get to see it. Alphino safely ensconced in a private chamber. My finest healer is examining him as we speak. A door? 2 doors? Spoken with the physician, there were no outward signs of illness. Alphinaud is lost in sleep, from which he cannot be awoken, just like the others. Seems even the lands of the Empire were not far enough away to escape the cursed voice. Share your frustration, Alice say. I do, but Alphinaud has returned to us alive and otherwise unharmed. All that remains is to find means to wake him. Until then, you can but fulfill your duties as a scion, yours and your brother's both. Right, of course there are arrangements to be made. Little time to make them. To business then, my lord. And we know if Serious war works as intended. Can we expect reinforcements for Alamigo? We certainly can. As promised, we'll send troops to bolster our allies in ALZ without delay. May be aware, however, they will not arrive without delay. Save some few who boast teleportation magics. The bulk of our forces must be transported by sea. Lengthy voyage from which smaller vessels favoured by the Confederacy are ill-equipped. Accordingly, must enlist the assistance of the East Aldenal Trading Company in finding suitable ships for navigating distances in question. We are in a happy position of being able to call upon those who plotted the course of my people's exodus to Eorzea. Beyond the procurement of ships, I think it unlikely that our East Alternate friends will consent to any involvement in military operations, but I am certain they will afford Alphinaud a berth aboard one of their vessels. Have a surgeon accompanying him. Every ilm. What's an ilm again? There's a yard, a mile, inch every inch of the way. Okay, ilm. The way to the right instead. My thanks, Lord Ian. Eagerly, I will go on ahead with our friends at Alamigo, enlist all those capable of teleportation and put them to disposal. The EA as soon as possible, and they will form the vanguard. Yes, my lord. This is exactly what we hope for. East and the Alliance leaders will be glad to welcome the combined strength of the East. Oh no, the camera's getting away, it's floating off! Those helium cameramen. That's why we're running out of helium. Meanwhile, at the Black Rose chemical plant. On switch.
Our supplies at Black Rose have been ruined, but the new plant is already under construction. We should have the first batch ready in time for the offensive, Your Radiance.
See that you do.
Ah, yes, the infamous Black Rose. If I recall correctly, Gaius did not much care for the invention. A ruthless and indiscriminate weapon indeed, this airborne poison. It seems you are capable of making decisions worthy of your bloodline.
With no gift for sorcery, we Garleans must look to Magitech to even the odds. If it spares the needless deaths of our soldiers and serves the cause of this empire, there is no method I would not employ.
How very noble of you.
Truly, though, I must commend you for embracing your role as Emperor. You play the part of the determined ruler well. Sometimes even I catch myself believing.
A silent agent of death. Now that I think on it, Black Rose may well possess the perfect aspect. Slowly but surely, the deluge of light has worked upon the ether here in the source, and the gas should be most susceptible to its influence. Well, I shall leave you to your own devices. Go forth and bloody the land with your grand and glorious war.
So they clone him, sure, but like, they're making loads of extra clothing as well. They don't clone the clothing.
While you do what, precisely?
I like his theme. It's sort of weird, maddening.
Need you ask? I will be doing what all Ascians do.
I am well aware that your kind exists only to usher in the next calamity. But you seem oblivious to the harm your singular agenda causes to the Empire. You cannot have forgotten the events which followed your mortal demise. Our homeland was plunged into civil war for your failure to name a successor. The edifice you so carefully constructed was but a hair's breadth from collapse.
Are you truly so naive? You thought me oblivious to the consequences of a departure so painstakingly timed?
It was by design?
Well, of course it was. Though
Fucking
I will
guards
admit
going.
the resulting panic exceeded even my wildest expectations. But how can you be surprised? Throwing the world into disarray was the very purpose for which this nation was, as you say, so carefully constructed. Now, if you have no further questions, I must be on my way.
I'm so very curious. So this is really good. I like how much of this is set ahead of time.
We may not meet again in this lifetime.
I wonder what his real name is.
Not to offer a word or two of gratitude.
I wonder if it's the third name we were just given.
I really must thank you for this surplus of vessels. I can mold any host into my own image, but having bodies tailor-made for me in this fashion is so much less tiresome. You dabbled in Allagan cloning techniques, yes? It certainly is a compelling, not to mention entertaining, field of research.
They must have a list of like, okay, we have cloning now, we've got Omega.
You chose the founding father on whom to experiment. You have a twisted streak to you, Varus, like grandsire, like grandsire, hey? If events play out as planned, this will become something of a family enterprise. You,
There's some weird
the
dialogue
capstone
here.
of this world, I, the anchor and shard, and together we will give the
Together.
lie to this star's fraudulent existence.
It's twice I've done that now. I was going to pause. Cool. We're getting through Parlay on the front lines. Ah. Getting through this not too... Yeah, we're speeding up. We must leave now to convene with the Aeors in leaders. It may be some time before I return to Derma. Akira, I'll leave you in the command. He is a dog, though. My lord. Shall assemble an advance party? Look how tall he is. With all haste, join you now. Let me go forthwith. Just received word from Lys. The Alliance has established a base camp near Alamigo's northeastern border. Once we've arrived at the locks, we're to report a resistance officer stationed in Porta Praetora, who will point us in the right direction. Let's not keep them waiting. You know what? I think I'll run out when the server, like a 1 a.m. I think that's when it'll cut off. I think that's when the day ends. I don't think it's from the hour I started. I think it's from the day. So I should be careful, because it might be 11. It might be just ending, which would be a shame, but it's not a lot I can do about it. You must be the silent party I was told to look out for. If you follow me, I'll take you directly to Alliance headquarters. Google, in Final Fantasy XIV, what time does the day end?
I found this on the web.
Infants.
Welcome
Google.
back, you two. Greetings, Lord Hien. Glad you could join us.
Google, in Final Fantasy XIV, what time does the day end?
I found this on the web.
Yeah, it might be midnight, might be 1 a.m. Reset is global. What time is 1 a.m. PST?
It's tomorrow at 1 a.m.
No, today we're on BST. What's PST to BST?
I found this on the web.
Oh, imagine it might be the same thing. What time in the UK did the servers reset in Final Fantasy XIV?
Here's what I found.
(9 a.m.) I don't know. Okay, well, glad you could join us.
Glad to be here.
Oh yeah.
I would have come sooner, where our own defense is not in question, but I am pleased to report that our soldiers are assembling for deployment to Alamigo as we speak.
We're grateful for your support. Thanks to the efforts of our allies, it won't be long before we've established defensive positions on this front as well.
We have some good news too. Alphino has come back to us. As for the bad news,
So, Alphino won't wake up. Gaius van Baelsar is alive and hunting Ascians, and the Empire is planning to poison us all with toxic gas. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, you shot the van though.
Ordinarily, any one of those things would have left me in shock. But the way things have been lately, it's all starting to seem pretty normal. Getting back to your report, are we sure this Black Rose is the weapon Maxima was talking about?
It fits the description. And it seems we have Alphino to thank for sparing us an early demonstration of its effectiveness. I have a feeling this won't be the last time his bravery in the Empire will serve us here in Eorzea. The threat of an unknown weapon has had us all on edge. But now that we know what we're dealing with, we can take steps to defend against it. As for Gaius, I'm not sure what to think. Am I happy he's alive? Not in the slightest. Am I happy he's hunting Ascians? Aye, I'd have to say I am.
Oh, speaking of Garleans you didn't expect to see, we have a tale of our own, as it happens. When we sent envoys to the Imperial Army to request talks, they returned with the message that Varys Zos Galvus would be attending.
The Emperor himself. Well, Varys did sanction the Popularis peace mission. but knowing that an Ascian walks in his son's skin, I do not see how we can trust him or anyone from that nest of vipers.
The Alliance would proceed with negotiations regardless, if only to give ourselves more time to prepare. We do, however, require your cooperation.
Right. Yes. So, as a condition for the talks to go forward, the Empire has requested that a member of the Scions be present. There'll be a representative from each Alliance nation, of course, but I'm afraid we have to ask that you come along too.
Gods, Lise, you know how much I hate politics. But then, what choice do I have? Alphino and the others aren't going to do it. Very well. I shall attend as the Scion's representative.
Where's
In
Louis
case
Swap?
you're wondering why I didn't ask you, the Empire also requested the presence of Eorzea's champion.
Because they said he was still alive, right? Just sort of being sneaky. Fond of politics either.
Oh, you're not, are you? Come on, if Alize can put on a brave face, then so can you. Now, we don't know what Varys means to bring to the table, or why he wants you there, but having you close at hand should make all the difference.
Who wants to kill me?
The meeting will take place on the border. Anticipating an early assault, we mean to position the bulk of our forces nearby.
The Alliance leaders should already be on their way. Once you're ready, we can head out and join them.
Well, I don't suppose it's polite to keep an Emperor waiting too long, shall we? Let us parlay with the Emperor. And hope my game doesn't suddenly end at 11. Seems like a really good way of getting us all killed at once.
Esteemed representatives of the Eorzean Alliance, on behalf of the Gallian Empire, I thank you for inviting me here today. As this parley was convened at your request, I invite you to speak first.
Very well, Your Radiance. I, Nanimo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, should be pleased to oblige you. As recent events in Alamigo and Doma have made plain, the subjugation and exploitation of neighboring nations is not a sustainable policy. Should this day end in war, you may very well defeat us, but you will never extinguish the people's desire for freedom. Though it may not be in our lifetime, there will be another revolution, another war, and the cycle will continue. Doma has entered into a concord with the nations of Eorzea, a partnership wherein we recognize one another as equals. Garlemald could be afforded similar treatment. You need only set aside your ambitions and join us in paving a path towards peace.
Would they? Have they not?
You will not win me over with sophistry, Your Grace. As you know only too well, this alliance lacks the strength to keep the peace within its own borders. Even now, your struggles with the Beastmen continue unabated. Divided, you sow this fertile soil with the seeds of your differences and reap naught but discord and chaos for your trouble. Eorzea must be united under one leader, one purpose. I would offer you both and bring an end to your strife.
With all due respect, Your Radiance, the only thing that you offered the people of Alamigo was fear and hopelessness.
The citizens of Dorma can also attest to the meager arms of Imperial rule. There is no purpose to be found in a life of oppression, each day more uncertain than the last.
Our people are willing to die for their freedom. A great many already have, and countless more will, if we don't put an end to this madness here and now.
No, don't wanna.
We brought order and stability to your lives. This madness and bloodshed is of your own making. You broke the peace, not Garlemald.
Peace. Order. You kill our peoples, despoil our lands, take everything that is ours. And what? You expect us to lick the boot that grinds our faces into the dirt?
I expect you to weigh the costs. To recognize that countless lives have been lost on both sides in pursuit of a greater good, and to not squander all we have achieved in a fit of petulance.
Your Radiance. I fear I can personally attest to the dangers of pursuing one's vision with such righteous fervor. For 1,000 years, the Holy See of Ishgard waged war with dragons. A 1,000 years of sacrifice, of sorrow and hate, in which we bathed in the blood of friend and foe alike. Had it gone on any longer, we may well have drowned. Yet we have chosen to raise ourselves out of this bloody spiral, and have since made peace with our former enemy.
So I understand. No doubt the dragons were more receptive to your overtures in the wake of their leader's demise.
It's got a point.
You speak of peace, yet use war to achieve it. Your father would not have bothered to obscure his intent with honeyed words.
Yes, he would. He was a fucking liar.
He understood that strength is all that matters in the end.
His whole thing was hiding the truth of the fucking war.
Without his clarity of vision, I can but wonder what will become of Ishgard and her people.
It's very fashy, though.
There was a time when Garlemald, too, lacked a leader of conviction. Weak and unable to wield magic, we were at the mercy of the strong, from whom we sought refuge in the bitter cold of the north. Were it not for the discovery of ceruleum and the subsequent development of magitech, we might never have gained the power to take back that which was rightfully ours.
You speak as if your people were the first to have been driven from their homes. Limsa Lominsa was built by wayward souls in search of a place to call their own. On the shores of Vilbrand we found it, and from those humble beginnings did we grow and flourish. And all without robbing our neighbors of their liberty.
Malweb, your people are pirates. Are you sure?
So saith the pirate.
Yeah.
Am I to believe that you simply asked the kobolds to yield up their lands and that they were happy to oblige you? That you did not drive them out like rats in the hold of one of the many ships seized by your privateers?
Don't get me wrong, fuck Varys. But like, I don't know if a pirate can get away with saying that.
I will concede that after centuries of exile, reclamation may be mistaken for invasion. Nevertheless, it is not. And those who till stolen soil have no right to object when cast out in turn.
Your uncompromising nature rivals that of the Ixal. They too lament circumstances which they themselves perpetuate. Were they but to embrace peace, we would welcome them with open arms. Indeed, some few have done just that, and now receive of the 12's Wood's bounty. Would that your people might learn from their example.
Some of them have.
You dare compare us to the Birdmen? You who thought to invoke the 12 and threaten all of creation?
You did what? When did she do that?
I came here in the hope of finding some speck of common ground, but I see now these discussions will accomplish nothing. Despite what you people may believe, I am not wont to choose the sword over the olive branch. 'Tis but a pity men are loath to accept one without first being shown the other.
Wait! I beg you. This meeting was supposed to be a chance to find a way forward together, not to bemoan the missteps which brought us here. Please. If you truly consider violence a last resort, there must be a way we can come to an agreement.
As Mistress Alisaie says, we did not come here to bicker over the past, but to discuss how we might strive towards a brighter future. Emperor Varys, may I suggest a short recess, that all present might...
Oh yeah, they're also
compose
trying to just slow him
themselves
down,
to
aren't they?
begin
I forget. Obviously, they don't believe he was, for a second, he was willing to, you know...
Very well.
Sue for peace.
I pray this intermission will suffice to move these talks in a more constructive direction.
Are we? We're in Gearban. Oh, oh. Oh yeah, we're in Porto Pretoria. Where the fuck is this? Leamington Quarter. Okay. This really is not my forte. After his Radiant's little performance, all I could do is not swear at him. Honestly, don't know how I ended up paying the mediator. I asked myself what Alphinaud would have done and tried my best to do the same. A similar miracle worked. There's really no common ground to be found with the man, nor do I think he looked for any. So the question becomes, what did he come here to do? Because you may be certain it wasn't to make peace. Whatever it was, I can't make it out, not yet. At least, we do have a little time before the Parlay is due to reconvene. Though, why not try consulting our illustrious leaders? Perhaps they might have some insight to share. Well, say for Varys is well versed in Aeol's in history, intense enough. What fucking they called you out for being a pirate? You've got it on your fucking shoulder. His interest in our affairs is the beast in his prey. The conqueror would know his enemies. All should know their enemies. Yet there's much more we do not know of the empire. I'm sure Varys would be happy to tell you more. He would have me ask the Emperor himself. Mayhap there is some wisdom in that. We can skirt the storm of his displeasure. We may yet come to our answers, even if it means sailing close to the wind. Parlay was never like to bring peace, but I'd hoped to learn something of the Emperor's Varys' relationship with the Asians. As had we all, if he's in league with them, he is not like to volunteer the fact, and if he's not, how much weaker would his position seem for their presence? If we are to approach the particular subject, we will need to be subtle. I would that I knew more of the man, if you would indulge him. Me, Lord Hien, you received imperial education, did you not? It's true the Emperor's will is considered absolute. There's no higher authority in all of Garlemald, nor else in the heavens. Comes that veneration of the gods is forbidden. Only worship permitted is that of the Radiance's own person. Sounds suspiciously like religion itself. Yeah, I mean, it's like literally identical to Warhammer in that way. Although the Emperor in Warhammer doesn't actually like that. I share your disdain for their hypocrisy, even if, as a denigrate of the idea of faith, they revere their leader with the fervour that others reserve the divine. It is, yeah, it's very fashy. A flaw common to much of the doctrine they feed us, logical on the surface perhaps, but contradictory because they want a strong, powerful leader. What's that? Humberto Echo? Things like a list of 8 things, I'm pretty sure. I wonder if there's a it's not Humberto, it's Umberto. Umberto Eco?
Here's what I found.
Yeah, Italian medievalist philosopher. Okay. Umberto Eco's list.
I found this on the web.
Okay, no, you had the name correct the first time around. Umberto Eco's list.
You don't have any items about Umberto Eco's.
Fuck me. Italian philosopher Umberto Eco's list.
I found this on the web.
Okay, 14 common features of fascism. Cultural tradition, rejection of modernism, which definitely they don't have in this, obviously, but it's like the opposite way around for them. Cult of action, disagreement is treason, fear of difference, that's a fairly obvious one. Appeal to social frustration, yeah, for sure. Obsession with a plot, yeah. I mean, this is, you know, a computer game. Pacifism, trafficking with the enemy. Contempt for the weak. Everyone is educated to become a hero. Machismo and weaponry. Newspeak. Okay, so look at that. Flaw common much to the doctrine they've had it. Yeah. 12 have mercy, but for Lady Alice's timely interjection, we might have had come to blows at the negotiating table. Not that Emperor Varys left us with great many options. The unconditional surrender is all we'll accept. Do you think? He arrived, I'd have said yes, but having heard him speak, I cannot help it. I think he came with some other end in mind. Exactly, he's building up to something, I know it. Then how should we approach this? The Parlay, have you thought anything to say? Invite him to explain himself. You believe he is more apt to reveal the truth if we put him at his ease, but maybe you're right. Thank you, Naib. I sense I had no actual real choices there. You've spoken with everyone then? Good. Let us all, now that all remains is to await the pleasure of the Emperor. Hope we fare better the second attempt.
Now then, who would have the floor?
Before we resume, I wish to offer you an apology. After you graciously accepted our invitation to discuss an armistice, we have done naught but rebuke you at every opportunity. I believe I speak for all of us when I say we are deeply sorry for our discourtesy.
Sorry.
I'll admit your familiarity with our affairs surprised me, and served to remind me how little I know of yours.
I think all here can understand the desire to reclaim one's homeland. But why expand further? That is my question.
If I may, the answer can be found in the Imperial doctrine they took great pains to impart to my people. Recognizing the threat icons posed to the world, Solus Zos Galvus decreed that they were to be eradicated. To this end, he began a campaign to unite all lands under the Garlean banner. Or so we were taught. Yet the Emperor only reached the burn, the Baron said to have been laid waste by icons, after conquering all the lands that lay between. What is more, I am quite certain the practice of summoning was not nearly so widespread in the days before the Empire's founding.
When you put it like that, it all starts to sound like an excuse, doesn't it? But to distract from what? Why are you really waging this war?
Finally, you ask the right question. I can but hope you heed mine answer and at last accept the righteousness of our cause. My goal is this: to return the world to the way it once was, the way it was always meant to be. In doing so, mankind will be made whole once more. No longer will we suffer from the dissension born of our differences. There will be but one race, a perfect race, as we were when time began.
What in Rolga's name are you talking about?
I am talking about the origins of the star, of the source and its 13 reflections.
What?
At the instant of the great sundering, 'twas not only the world that was shattered, but mankind itself. Thus were we divided into myriad races, each with its own unique imperfections. That is why man looks upon his neighbor and feels fear and hatred, why he wages war, why he kills his brother. You all in your own way have proven as much today. The peace you seek is but a fleeting solution to a fundamental problem. One which calls for more drastic measures. To bring about everlasting peace, our worlds must be rejoined. That is the goal the Empire would see realized. The glorious future unto which we shall one day shepherd mankind.
A rejoining of worlds.
A reunion?
I have heard this tale of the Source and its reflections before.
Are these not the self-same desires as the Ascians?
Emperor Varys, do not trust in their words. They will lead you to your doom. My father thought to use them, but in the end he succumbed to their temptations. He embraced summoning like so many other pawns before him. Do not tell us you mean to do the same.
To be a pawn, free from the burden of choice, would be a blessing. But I forswore that privilege the day I learned that the Gallian Empire was built by the hand of an Ascian.
What?
He's actively giving us information.
Yes. My grandsire, the former emperor, is of their number. And who better to build an empire capable of bringing about the calamitous change we desire? Would you condemn me for this alliance? For bowing to the will of these shadowy masters, when the prize is true and lasting peace?
The prize is a lie. Your master's demons.
I come not to conquer, but to liberate. To free man from the prison of divergence.
Imagine a world united. One perfect race beneath a single standard. An army before whose might these servants of darkness and light would fly as leaves in a storm, never again to meddle in man's affairs. We would be the masters of our own fate. I bid you join me, not as subjects of Garlemald, but of a new nation. And together we shall win freedom for ourselves and generations yet unborn.
You want to trigger another half-dozen calamities? You can't be serious!
Have you forgotten how many died? There will be no one left.
Do you truly imagine we would aid you in your bloodletting?
I love that everyone has to dramatically stand up.
It is unthinkable. Unconscionable.
I also disagree. It's just that side that does the standing up. Never mind.
And what is the alternative? To be as cattle waiting for slaughter? I would have us work together that we might take fate into our own hands.
Into your hands, perhaps.
This is a long cutscene.
But what of the other worlds, your radiance? With every calamity, you obliterate a star and every soul that dwells on it.
I don't quite understand the calamities.
To the Ascians, we are all but tiny, momentary specks within an indifferent universe. We cannot hope to oppose them until we have been made whole once more.
I politely disagree.
Are these truly the words of Garlemald's ruler? The flaws and foibles which you so abhor are what make us who we are. Every nation, even yours, Emperor Varys, is made whole through the combination of these imperfections, the strengths of one compensating for the weaknesses of another. While it is true that man succumbs all too often to anger and avarice, he may yet overcome his baser instincts through the forming of bonds with others, fostering community and cooperation. That the protector of an empire should not only reject these fundamental truths, but seek to change them at so dear a cost to life is indefensible. Such a man is not fit to govern.
And you, warrior of light, would you refuse me as well?
cannot condone such a loss of life.
It would seem the Alliance is of one mind on this matter.
It's a polite no from me. This is Shark Tank, or whatever it's called.
You Eorzeans never cease to disappoint me. Though I suppose I have only myself to blame for expecting more from savages. This discussion is at an end. I bid you make ready for our next meeting. It will not be at the negotiating table.
It'll be at the children's table. Yeah, I don't think I would go in a meeting with somebody who's like, yeah, chemical weapons, that's cool. Yeah, I'm not getting this done in 40 minutes, am I? Came back to find Demo's advance party ready for battle. So worrying for a little chat with the Emperor as it was, did buy as worrying as it was, did buy enough time for at least some of our allies to arrive. Phase of war. Struggle.
I'm not sure what I was expecting from our meeting with the Emperor, but it wasn't that.
Aye, a future built on a mountain of bodies. I too want the Ascians dead, but not at any cost.
The last of the reinforcements from Dorma arrived not long ago. I pray it will be enough. Given the Emperor's stated goal, this is a battle we can ill afford to lose.
I mean, if he dies,
the Emperor force, we may not have much say in the matter.
Taken over by another
even
Ascian.
with our combined strength.
We knew from the first that the odds would be against us. But if there is even the slightest chance of victory, we must do everything in our power to seize it.
We must seize it, full stop.
Here!
Hurt my eye, sorry. Oh, just kind of being distracting.
The two of you are to join an irregular unit and support the main host. I won't bother asking if you're minded to fight.
After coming this far, how could I not? And for once, there's no one around to countermand me. Not that they would. Not even my brother. But we all know who'll really make the difference. Ready to frighten some Garleans?
Wouldn't want to be on their side.
Might I ask you to accompany the Dorman contingent? They are strangers here, and your presence would do much to raise their spirits.
We would be honored.
When our people stride out with you in their midst, I dare say the Eorzeans will feel an ilm taller themselves. High spirits have a way of spreading.
What I wouldn't give to join you. But my duties as field commander will not allow it. I'll leave the front lines in your capable hands.
No, that guy's skipping.
Comrades, ready your arms. The hour of battle has come.
Battle.
May the crystal guide us to victory!
Go.
Since the others couldn't be here, we'll have to fight twice as hard. If Alphinaud wakes to find the Imperials have won, I shall never hear the end of it. It's strange. I thought I would be terrified when the fighting started. I should be terrified. But with you at our side, I can't help feeling everything is going to be all right. So please, don't you dare leave me alone. No matter what happens, we have to survive together.
Together. Was that a jarring change of music? Gimlet Dark is now available. Seven minutes. In the meantime, I've got Why isn't there a quick way to get that? It's really annoying. Not what I was planning on doing, but there is somebody right up here, but... Oh yeah, of course. Who knows how long this storyline will take. This is the less important storyline, though. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world if I don't get this dungeon done. And it feels really cool that it took exactly the 4 days, you know? Even if I don't get it, I'm close. First we have to go for a swim.